Good evening and welcome to the regular City Commission meeting for Tuesday, January 27, 2026 will now come to order. Please join me in putting your cell phones on silent, something we usually forget. Thank you. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Perrine?
Here.
Commissioner Martin?
Here.
Commissioner Ashley?
Here.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Here.
Mayor Cleveland has an excused absence.
Thank you, City Clerk. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation. Commissioner Perrine is going to read us the invocation, and then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads, please. Dear precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, this beautiful city that we live in, and all of the leaders up here making these decisions for what's best for our community. Please watch over and guide us, be with our citizens, help direct us, be at peace, and we give you graciously all of our thanks. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Perrine. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. At this time, I'd like to take a brief moment of silence for Assistant City Manager Ron Niebert, who can't be with us here tonight due to his the passing of his mother. So please take a moment of silence. Thank you. City Manager, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We do have a couple of changes. Item 7F has been withdrawn from the consent agenda. And also wanted to notify you that item 10A, we have received a request from the applicant to continue that to the March 10th meeting. Again, that's item 10A. That has to do with South Village and their application for a community development district. You might want to, you'll have to vote to continue that. You might want to do that early in case there's anybody here waiting for that.
Sure. City Attorney, I think you had a statement you wanted to make on that?
Once you all vote.
Okay, so is there a motion to move the item 10A to the March 10th City Commission meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes, thank you. Motion passes. Carrie?
And for the record, ordinance number 0126, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach establishing the South Village New Smyrna Beach Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. And this item will be continued to March 10th, 2026 at 5:30 at 214 Sam's Avenue in this meeting hall. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, do you have a report for us tonight?
Yes, sir. Just a few things to mention. And since Mayor since Mayor Cleveland isn't here, report that he and I attended the Volusia County Roundtable on January the 12th. At that meeting, we had reports from all of the Volusia County constitutional officers, including the sheriff, the tax collector, tax appraiser, the election supervisor, and the clerk of court. We also had updates on pending legislative session and a lot of discussion about flooding and the work that's going on in Volusia County. Also report that I did follow up with staff and the complainant that was at the meeting, the previous meeting concerning 705 Faulkner Street. That complaint is being investigated and appropriate action will be taken to resolve that matter. Would also like to state for the record there were some allegations made about some sort of staff impropriety regarding that. I can assure you those allegations are not true. Also followed up on a concern that the citizen brought to us regarding homelessness on Canal Street and the impact that has on business activity. Again, we are doing everything that we can within the confines of the law to manage the homeless. And I did include some statistics for you in the city manager report just to show you some of the activity that we are undertaking. Couple of other things. Obviously, Images was this weekend, a big success with respect to that. Also, am working with staff for our next big celebration, July the 4th, and I think we've got fireworks on the agenda tonight, and we're looking forward to making that a bigger celebration given the 250th anniversary. Also, Mayor Cleveland and Commissioner Martin were in attendance at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations, and that was a fine event, great attendance, and was happy to be there representing the city. And that is my report, sir. Thank you.
Great, thank you, City Manager. Appreciate the update on that and the attendance of the roundtable and update on the roundtable information. At this time, I'm going to open up public participation. You have 3 minutes, and there's going to be a green light, which starts 3 minutes. You have 1 minute remaining. The light will turn yellow, and when the red light comes on, you will be out of time. So at this time, please come up if you have anything you want to discuss on the agenda or anything else that you want to talk about related to the city. Please come up and state your name and address for the record.
Hello, commissioners and staff. My name is David Lannon, and I reside at 1700 Saxon Drive in New Smyrna Beach. I come before this panel to put on the record my concern and frustration about the current road conditions in the neighborhood I live in. Calalisa Creek Vistas was approved and zoned residential by the city of New Smyrna Beach. It is a neighborhood like many other neighborhoods in New Smyrna Beach, with one exception, and that being Saxon Drive and its classification as an urban feeder. My neighborhood is home to people walking their dogs or just taking a walk. It is home to people riding bikes. It is home to people of all ages who work in the yards and who stop to chat with others in the neighborhood. What my neighbors and I have to contend with that no other neighborhoods in New Smyrna Beach are faced with is a city-owned road that, due to its classification, has no deterrence to speeding. Police cannot patrol this road on a constant basis, and when they do, it is obvious there is a lot of speeding taking place given the amount of motorists they pull over. I would venture to say that if any member of this panel had to deal with the same issues as my neighborhood, there would be changes made. People should not have to fear using sidewalks or pathways from vehicle traffic. It is an indisputable fact that the population density is on the rise and will continue to rise in the future. A zoned residential area and an urban feeder are not compatible. If the city has the power to create, it also has the power to change its creation when necessary, and for Saxon Drive, that time is now. The northern part of Saxon, from 11th Avenue to 3rd Avenue and/or State Road 44, is in desperate need of change. The speed limit of 25 miles per hour needs to be the goal, not a suggestion. I have in my hand the signatures on the traffic calming request form from the majority of homeowners on Saxon from 9th Avenue to the vacant lot across from the Truist entrance. Residents are furious and they want something done before any more accidents take place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Landon. Is there anybody else for public participation? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close public participation. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up consent. Is there any, Commissioner Perrine, would you like to pull anything from the consent agenda?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Martin?
Just have one question, 7B.
Okay, hold on. What I'm going to do is just have you pull it instead of just comments. You're going to pull item B? Mr. Ashley, nothing? Okay, go ahead and discuss 7B.
Well, it's just the question, does the FEC get half of the vacated property? I'm trying to understand if what I think about property vacation is accurate, that's all.
So the railroad has an easement over the property. The property will be split to the landowners on both sides.
That's what I
And
thought. That's what I was
if Mr.
verifying.
Storch makes any other arrangements, that's their private matter.
Okay, but that's what I was asking, simply, thank you.
Okay, you want to make a motion to approve that?
Sure, motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve item B. City Clerk?
Commissioner Perrine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes,
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes, item B, consent agenda is approved. Now, can I have a motion to approve on consent agenda item A, C, D, E, G, H, I, and J?
I'll make that motion.
second,
Okay. City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
yes,
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes, consent agenda is approved. Moving on to item 9, quasi-judicial hearings. A quasi-judicial hearing is set to be held to consider the approval of a special exception SC 3-25 at 1311 North Dixie Freeway to allow indoor auto sales in the B3 Highway Service District. Jake, I think you're going to take
Yes.
this?
Yes, we have a special exception request to allow indoor auto sales in the B3 at 13, wait, I already forgot the address there, on North Dixie Freeway between Industrial Park Ave and Pond Street. Parcel ID 743814 000010, 1311 North Dixie Freeway. So here it is right here, the little yellow spot there on the east side of US 1. It's one large parcel, 2.59 acres, it's zone B3. Surrounding area is also B3. It has underground exfiltration. The site was once the former Mullinax dealership. So what these people want to do basically is take a portion of one of these buildings here, and it's going to be indoor auto sales. So there'll be nothing outside. It's kind of more on the high-end collector, luxury car side of things, and nothing going to be outside. You won't even hardly know there's going to be cars being sold here. So special exception requirements that are for all special exceptions. The requested use is listed among the special exceptions permitted in the district. Yes, this is a B3. It is a criterion has been met as auto sales are allowed in B3 as special exceptions. The requested use will not impair the character of the surrounding or adjoining district nor be detrimental to the public health, welfare, morals. The property was developed as a car dealership originally. This thing's going to be totally indoors. You really won't even know it's there. So this criterion has been met as well. And adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, sanitation are all available. And again, the site's been in use for years. This criterion has been met as well. Here's kind of the cars that they have in there. Right now they're stored in there. He's not selling anything yet, but kind of like I think a Bentley and a Ferrari there. And planning and zoning recommended 5-0, and we recommend as well with 2 conditions. Obtain a BTR before the business opens, and the approval will be good for 2 years or until the business tax receipt has been attained. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Jake. Any questions for, go ahead.
okay. Please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking for clarification. But as I understand it, granting this special exception would apply to all possible uses, not necessarily just indoor cars. Allow outdoor display of cars, RVs, new and used, because that's all it.
This is limited to indoor. That was his request.
Yes, but if somebody comes in and he moves and a different business takes it over,
The
then.
next person has to come in and do a new special exception.
So are you telling me that the special exception follows the business and
Yes.
not the property?
Yeah, we went through this a couple of years ago with the same site where someone came in, had it, sold it, and then I believe it was the Campbells actually went through the same process before. So it goes, if they move, it's gone,
Thank you for that clarification.
and it's indoors. You get limited to that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Jake? Okay, at this time, I'd like to give the opportunity, does the applicant want to come up and say anything? It's up to them. You can pass or you don't have to.
Only if you have questions.
Well,
I have a question.
come up. Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and hear from the applicant, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's Dennis Towle, 1311 North Dixie Freeway, Delgall Ltd.
Any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Ashley?
You're going to be in the business of selling luxury cars? Is that?
Now, our corporation owns the property, so we're just trying to get that exception granted. So for indoor car sales, no outside display. It's already in our leases. We don't allow.
Any particular genre of cars that we're talking about? Or?
I wouldn't want to commit to that right now. It's just high-end, but we would not allow, per our leases, anything that's not operable cannot come in there damaged, those type of things. So we're very particular about that, and we don't allow any outside display right now as it is in our leases.
I'm just curious why.
Why?
Why?
Oh, because we don't want used cars out on the lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're okay with someone coming in with a couple, 3 cars inside, and they're specialty cars and that type of thing.
That was my
And,
question. Specialty, what does that mean, specialty cars?
Well, you know, we have a lot of collectors here in the city.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of high-end market also in this city.
I wouldn't call those used cars, though. I mean, that sounds like a great
Well,
product.
but the 2 you just saw, those are probably between $80,000 and $120,000. So, I mean, those are, you know, unique cars. But we're just only trying to let them sell inside, because most cars are sold on the internet now. They're not driving up and down US 1 and
Very good point.
pulling in, you know?
Yeah.
And so we don't really need that. I just think that we have a great location. We have all those bays in the back. No one will even know they're there, other than if you look online and call the person and want to come look at the car.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, the commission now will hear from members of the public wishing to comment in favor of or opposition of the approval of SE-3-25 at 1311 North Dixie Freeway. Any members of the public wish to do so? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the quasi-judicial hearing. Does the city staff or applicant have any further comments they want to make? Okay, is there any further questions to city staff from the commission?
Just one recommendation. If you would like to tie it to this applicant, I would make that a condition of approval. My understanding is it runs with the land, so in order to address that question, I would recommend that approval.
Okay.
Condition.
Okay, so at this time, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll move to accept, to approve with the condition that it runs with this specific business owner.
I'll second
And this
that.
specific application, yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay. City clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Perine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the special exception at 3-25 located at 1311 North Dixie Freeway has been unanimously approved with the condition that it is tied specifically to the applicant.
Excuse me. And this particular business. And this particular business. In other words, not the applicant later coming in and having RVs.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure we were clear, yeah.
Okay. I think that's clear. Okay. A public hearing will be conducted to consider the adoption of ordinance number 2-26, 0-26, 4-26 regarding the annexation of property located at Page Avenue.
Ordinance.
Or you gonna, yeah, go ahead.
Ordinance
City Attorney.
226, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 15.2 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 0326, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 15.2 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail from Volusia County Urban Medium Intensity and Environmental Systems Corridor to city conservation, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 426, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 15.2 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail from Volusia County RC Resource Corridor and R4A Urban Single Family Residential Airport Overlay to City CA Conservation Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
All right, thank you, City Attorney. Bob, you're up.
Yes, sir. So the city is the owner of the property, and we've requested a volunteer annexation, a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, changing the future land use categories from Volusia County Urban Medium Intensity and Environmental Service Corridor. Also a rezoning from Volusia County zoning designation of R4 Urban Single Family Residential and Resource Corridor with an A attached for the Airport Height Notification Zone to a city future land use category of conservation and a city zoning designation of conservation with an A attached for the Airport Height Notification Zone. So the undeveloped site contains approximately 15.2 plus or minus acres. It's located on the south side of Page Avenue, south of the public shopping center, and just east of the Turnbull Creek. And at the regular scheduled meeting on December the 1st, 2025, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 7-0 to give a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amending, changing the future land use category to city conservation and rezoning to city conservation with an A attached for the Airport Height Notification Zone. The Planning Department also recommends the City Commission also approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan, and rezoning. And with that, I've provided a summary of the staff report. So if any questions commissioners may have.
Thank you, Bob. Questions or comments for Bob? Okay, thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to open up for the public hearing. Is there anybody who would like to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission. Does the City Commission want to adopt? We're going to adopt each ordinance separately. So is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2-26?
So moved.
Second.
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 2-26 has been adopted. Is there a motion for 326?
So moved.
Second.
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes. Ordinance number 3-26 has been adopted. Is there a motion for ordinance 4-26?
So moved.
Second.
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Commissioner Perine.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 4-26 has been adopted. Moving on, a public hearing will be conducted to consider the adoption of ordinance number 526, 626, and 726 regarding the annexation of property located on Oliver Drive. City Attorney will read by ordinance number 526, 626, and 726 for the second time by title only.
Ordinance number 526, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing .22 plus or minus acres of property generally located on the west side of Oliver Drive, north of Lydia Way, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 4, providing for public hearing, provided for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 0626, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of .22 plus or minus acres of property generally located on the west side of Oliver Drive, north of Lydia Way, from Volusia County urban medium intensity to city medium density residential, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance 0726, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning .22 plus or minus acres of property generally located on the west side of Oliver Drive, north of Lydia Way, from Volusia County R4A, urban single-family residential airport overlay to city R2A, single-family residential airport overlay zoning district, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. Bob, you're up.
Yes, sir. So the property owners have requested the voluntary annexation, a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment changing the future land use category from Volusia urban medium intensity and a rezoning from the Volusia County zoning designation of R4 urban single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone to a compatible city future land use category of medium density residential and a compatible city zoning designation of R2 single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone. So the undeveloped site does contain approximately 0.22 plus minus acres. Also, it's located on the west side of Oliver Drive, just north of Lydia Way, and it's an existing platted residential subdivision. So at its regular scheduled meeting on December 1st, 2025, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 7-0 to give a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment changing the future land use category to city medium density residential and rezoning to city R2 single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone. The Planning Department also recommends the City Commission to approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, and a rezoning. And I've provided a summary of the staff report. So, any questions the commissioners may have.
Thank you, Bob. Any comments or questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Ashley.
I don't understand why the airport zoning height thing is.
So we have an airport notification zone in the city. When you're so many thousands of feet away from the airport, if you're above 3 stories in height, you have to notify the FAA to get approval for that height.
It's not near the airport, is it?
It's within so many thousands of feet of the runway. So we have a circle that goes around the city and is barely just into it.
Okay.
So if you want to build a 4-story, or if your zoning allows you more than 3, you have to, FAA has to be notified so they can put it on the map.
Okay, no further comments for Bob. Is the applicant here, and does the applicant wish to say anything? Okay, not seeing an applicant wishing to speak, I'm going to open this up for public hearing. Is anybody from the public wanting to comment on this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing, bring it back up to the City Commission. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 526?
So moved.
Second?
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 526 has been adopted. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 626?
So moved.
Second?
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Commissioner Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 626 has been adopted. And is there a motion to approve 726?
I move to approve 726.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Perine,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Yes. Ordinance number 726 has been adopted. A public hearing will be conducted to consider the adoption of an ordinance number 826, which, if adopted, would rezone approximately .85 plus acres of land to R2 single-family residential with an A attached for the airport height notification zone for property located at 1701 South Dixie Freeway. City Attorney Avalon will read the ordinance number 826 for the second time and by title only.
Ordinance number 826, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning .85 plus or minus acres of property generally located on the west side of Magnolia Street between 9th and 10th Streets, addressed as 1701 South Dixie Freeway from City B3A Highway Service Business District Airport Overlay to City R2A Single Family Residential Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
All right. Bob, you're back at it.
I'm back up. Yes, sir. So the property is located on South Dixie Freeway, just north of 10th Street, across from the McDonald's Quick Service Restaurant. The property owners have requested a partial rezoning from B3 Highway Service Business District to R2 Single Family Residential. There is commercial zoning to the west, and there's residential zoning to the east, the north, and the south. So I provided an existing zoning map and a proposed zoning map, and as you can see on the current zoning map on the left side of the slide, shows the entire parcel with the current zoning of B3, which is Highway Service Business District. The parcel is surrounded on three sides with the R2 single-family zoning, and the proposed zoning map that's located on the right side of the slide shows where the proposed R2 single-family zoning would be. So in this slide, I provided the existing future land use map, and as you can see on this map, the parcel currently has two future land uses categories on the property. The west side of the property that contains the credit union has a future land use category of commercial, while the undeveloped half of the property has a future land use category of low-density residential. So I provided a copy of the 1925 plat, and I highlighted the 5 platted lots. This would be the area where the property owner has requested a change in the zoning. So the property owner also provided a survey of the property, and the survey does show that the entire bank operation is west of the 5 platted lots. That's part of this rezoning request. So I was able to find the original site plan for the credit union, and in 1975, when this site was originally drafted, the original bank was the First Federal Savings and Loan. We also found the original landscaping and drainage plan. And with this slide, you can see that the plan originally was to send the stormwater to the east in the underdeveloped area of the parcel. Then the bank submitted a revision and decided to keep the stormwater on site and with the area of a bank and place a berm and a vegetation buffer. And by enlarging this plan, you can see the revised stormwater and vegetation plan showing that the arrows of the drainage being back onto the property itself. So this aerial does show some of the stormwater inlets that are to the underground stormwater collection and storage area. And when the planning department receives an application for rezoning, staff must review that application for consistency with the city's comprehensive plan and the city's land development plan. So after reviewing this application against the city's comprehensive plan, staff would propose that the application would be consistent with the following: future use land element, low density residential category. It would be consistent with the future land use element goal number 2, which is the general land use pattern. It would be consistent with the future land use element goal number 2, objective 1, which is the future land use map. And it would be consistent with the future land use element goal number 4, objective 1, non-residential uses. So after reviewing the application against the city's land development regulation, the two zoning districts have major differences. The current B3 Highway Service Business District does not allow for single-family homes as a permitted use. The current B3 Highway Service Business District does allow more intense 5-foot front and side building setbacks with a 10-foot rear building setback. The proposed R2 single-family zoning district allows single-family homes as a permitted use with very limited commercial uses. Also, the proposed R2 single-family residential district requires a 30-foot front yard setback with a 7.5-foot side and rear yard setback. So staff would also review if a change in the zoning would affect adjacent or closely related neighboring properties. The neighboring properties to the north, south, and east are already zoned R2 single-family residential, and the change would limit any type of large-scale commercial development and would allow a small-scale residential development. So we feel that this request may stabilize the existing residential neighborhood. So in summary, the property owners requested that the east section of the property that contains lots 1 through 5 be rezoned to R2 single-family residential. The future land use is already low-density residential, so the R2 would be compatible to that future land use. If approved, the property owner wishes to separate those 5 platted lots and develop those lots with single-family homes. So at its regular scheduled meeting back on December the 1st, 2025, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 7-0 to give a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the requested change to R2 single-family residential. And after the Planning Department's evaluation, we've also determined that the zoning request would be consistent with the comprehensive plan and the land development regulations. And since the requested zoning would allow for single-family homes, the rezoning would stabilize the existing residential neighborhood. The Planning Department also recommends Commission to approve the requested change to be consistent with neighboring properties. And with that, that's a summary of the staff report, subject to any questions commissioners may have.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions or comments for Bob?
I'm just verifying to simplify that the property along US 1 will remain B3A for commercial or business, and the portion of the property already facing current family homes will be rezoned to single-family residential.
That is correct.
Thank you.
The bank side will stay B3 and commercial. The undeveloped side will be residential and single-family.
Will you go back to page 23 and elaborate on the subdivided, the 7 lots? What did you say about that?
Subdividing the property? Well, there's currently 5 lots, so they could subdivide those 5 lots and have 5 individual homes, or they could do any combination. So if they wanted to do 3 homes, they could do a lot and a half. That's really up to the property owner that currently owns the property, and he's going to market those lots to be sold.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that's all right. He's going to market those to be sold to hopefully a local builder. So,
How does that, with the differences with the stormwater impact versus leaving it as a commercial?
well, if you leave it as commercial, they could develop that site as commercial as a totally independent from the bank. So you'd have could have another commercial building with its own stormwater system. It's too small to probably have retention ponds, so they'll have to do an underground system like the bank did. But then you'd have that commercial building would be facing all those residential homes. So since he's requested to make the change, we're going to support that change. So that way the homeowners will face new homes instead of a possible commercial building. And the B3 has a lot of uses, from taverns to restaurants to, service centers for cars. And so we'd like to limit those and
We
support them.
sort of just went through this with a different situation, and the owners had a problem finding a future use for commercial. Has this owner had a problem with that? Is that why they're asking to revert that to residential?
Yeah, that's a good question. So he's the one that came to us. He feels he just purchased the property within the last couple of years, and now the bank is a tenant instead of being the property owner. So I think to revamp some of his investment, he's looking to sell for residential to recoup some of his costs that he paid for the properties.
And one more thing, I mean, since we just went through this property tax situation, I see it similar, that we're reverting from commercial to residential.
I understand.
So why was there so much pushback on the other and not this? I don't understand the 7-0 versus what we just went through.
So even though the applications sound similar, they're actually 2 separate differences. For this property, it already has a future land use of low-density residential. So even though it had a commercial zoning, if they wanted to do a commercial project, they would have to do a comp plan amendment to change it to commercial. So really, the current zoning of B3 is incompatible with that low-density residential, where the other application had to do both. They had to go from a residential to a commercial, and they had to do a zoning from, or opposite, they had to do commercial residential and do a zoning for commercial to residential. With this one, the future land use is already in place. It's really the zoning that's now incompatible.
Thank you. I thought that was very important for that clarification to our public.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ashley, any questions?
It sounds like a good idea to me.
All right.
So,
I think if he's a neighbor living across the street, they'll probably say it's a good idea. So that's what we've received from the neighbors, so.
So I have a few comments on this, Bob. Our problem on US 1 has always been we took home lots, which were on commercial home sites, lots, residential lots,
okay.
which on our arterial commercial road. And you know that we have split those up. Sometimes exactly what we're doing here, which is half of the block is going to be commercial and the back half of the property is going to be residential on the backside of whatever road is in back of it. What it's created is properties too small to be developed commercially. So we're doing this, we're actually potentially creating the problem that this property actually doesn't have, in that the whole lot is right now B3 commercial. Once we make this change, is any of the existing commercial building going to be unconforming?
Well, so in the B3 zoning, you're only required to have a 10-foot rear setback from commercial to residential, so there's no additional requirement for landscaping or setback like in other commercial districts. So in this case, it would be compatible.
So I'm not talking, from the commercial to the residential. I'm talking about the commercial use, the frontage on US 1, just the commercial. So if someone else wanted, if the bank decided to leave and a different business wanted to come in, are all of the current designs conforming when we make this change? So is the front yard setbacks, the parking spaces off of US 1, are those conforming?
So all of it is conforming because the front yard setback in B3 is 5 feet, and they're more than 5 feet because they have a drive aisle that runs across the front. So all the side and the front and the rear setbacks would still be conforming even with this rezoning application.
Okay, great. Thank you. At this time, I'd like, if the applicant is here and would like to speak, applicant can come up. It's up to you. You can go ahead and come up. Well, here, come on up. We'll find out in just a second. Please state your name.
My name's Jeff Allen. I own the property since 2019. Currently has a Space Coast Credit Union on it. They're my tenant. They have no issue with this. In fact, I'm working up a new lease to represent the property as it's going to be when it's split, hopefully. And there's no issue with ingress or egress or their parking. We've gone through all that with them, and so there's nothing that I'm aware of that would impede them to continue doing the business as possible, as it's being done today. So other than that, the one question that I did hear was, did the owner try to want to do something commercially and couldn't, so he did residential? That wasn't the case at all. We realized that this property is 2 acres and it's split, and the credit union has had some issues over the last few years with the storms and having to maintain all those trees and that type of thing. So they're happy to not have to pay taxes on it and maintain it and that sort of thing. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. And I think we had quite a few residents, or several residents here during the planning meeting, that expressed their happiness that it was going to become residential, and there wasn't any commercial going to be built on that side, on the Magnolia Street side. So.
Okay, hold on, finish. Just want to make sure you're finished with your statement.
Yep.
Okay, at this time, questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Ashley.
Yes.
Do you have any renderings yet, or do you have an idea of what exactly each lot will be put on?
I'm not a developer, so I'm probably going to pass it on to somebody that wants to build some homes there. That's my plan right now. I may end up building some homes, but I really don't want to get into that business. I know that in the area there are quite a few vacant lots being developed right now with builders, and it's
I have a question for everybody. Would that decision have to come back before us? In other words, if somebody wanted to build a 3-story apartment, or a condo and then a house?
Well, if they want to build something that's in conformity with zoning and subdivision regulations, no, they wouldn't have to come back.
Okay. So what I'm envisioning is what we saw that Bobby did with his idea, and if that, and so I have that in my mind about what these adjacent lots that you owned would look like. I don't know if you saw what happened at 1300 South Atlantic. It was interesting.
No.
Well, it was, the area was zoned commercial forever, and it stayed empty, and then Mr. Luther came before us and had a plan to do some very nice residential homes, and the rendering looked great. And so I'm trying to envision
Yeah.
what might go there. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. But
Yeah, I, like I said, I'm probably not going to develop it. I would assume that whoever does has to come before you guys, like the city manager said, if there's gonna be any variance from
It'd be a proper procedure with the planning
proper
staff.
procedure with the buildings at that point. I do have, yesterday, a new survey was done, and then Corey's gonna do a survey for me next week for each of the 5 platted lots individually. Utilities are there, show all everything that's there, but that's it.
Okay, Lisa?
Just a reminder that the rezoning goes with the land, not any site plan, not any specific development. It just rides with the land. That's all.
Commissioner Breen, any question for the applicant? Okay, the only thing that I'd mention to you is, you may have picked up on when I was talking to staff, right now you have a sizable commercial property, and that will be reduced significantly. So what you will be able to do with that commercial property will be limited in the future.
Correct.
So you have what you have, and luckily with this change, you'll still be conforming, which is good. But you will obviously limit whatever future commercial uses will go there simply by the size of the land.
Right.
Okay. With no further comments to the applicant, I'm going to take an opportunity now to open the hearing up to the public. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak on this item? Okay, seeing nobody from the public, I'm going to close the public hearing portion. And if there's do we have any more questions for the applicant or staff? Okay. Thank you. All right, is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 826?
So moved.
Second?
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 826 has been adopted. Moving on to ordinances first reading. City Attorney Avalon, please read the ordinances number 926, 1026, and 1126 by title only for its first reading.
Ordinance number 926, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 5 ± acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1026, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 5 ± acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, from Volusia County Urban Low Intensity, Urban Medium Intensity, and Environmental Systems Corridor to City Conservation. Providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1126. An ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 5 ± acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, from Volusia County RC Resource Corridor, R1A Urban Single Family, and R4 Urban Single Family Residential Airport Overlay to City CA Conservation Airport Overlay Zoning District. Providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. All 3 of those public hearings will be held on February 10th, 2026.
Thank you, City Attorney. Please read ordinances number 1226, 1326, and 1426 by title only for its first reading.
Ordinance number 1226, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 4.5 ± acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, provided for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1326, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 4.5 ± acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail, from Volusia County Urban Medium Intensity to city conservation, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, provided for public hearing, provided for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1426, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 4.5 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Page Avenue, east of Trophy Hunter Trail from Volusia County R4A Urban Single Family Airport Overlay to City CA Conservation Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. All three of these public hearings will be held on February 10th, 2026.
Thank you, City Attorney. Please read ordinances number 1226, 1326, and 1426 by title only for first reading.
Ordinance number 1526, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 2.8 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Doster Drive, east of Corbin Park Road, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 1, providing for public hearing, provided for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1626, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 2.8 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Doster Drive, east of Corbin Park Road from Volusia County Urban Low Intensity and Environmental Systems Corridor to city conservation, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 1726, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 2.8 plus or minus acres of property generally located south of Doster Drive, east of Corbin Park Road from Volusia County RC Resource Corridor Airport Overlay, and R4A Urban Single Family Airport Overlay to City CA Conservation Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. All three of those public hearings will be February 10th, 2026.
Okay, City Attorney, I think you were reading number 1826 on first reading.
Ordinance number 1826, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the land development regulations, amending Article X subdivisions, Section 1007 plat requirements, Section 1008 preliminary plat and plans approval, and Section 1009 final plat and development plan approval, providing for codification, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date. Second reading and public hearing will be February 10th, 2026.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney, please read ordinance number 1926 by title only for its first reading.
Ordinance number 1926, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 70, Streets and Sidewalks and Other Public Places, Article 1 in general to add Section 70-6, sleeping, to prohibit sleeping on public streets, alleys, sidewalks, and rights-of-way, providing for codification, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Second reading and public hearing will be February 10th, 2026.
Thank you, City Attorney. Moving on to boards and commissions. Number 12A, we have the Animal Control Board. I think what we did was, City Clerk is going to be looking for us. We temporarily approved 3 to the January 23 to temporarily, and City Clerk, I think you want us to approve those 3 to the January 28, 2028 date.
So yes, at the last meeting, we brought to you applicants because we need to have a hearing that was going to be appealed. In the last meeting, we asked for a temporary extension for 3 members. So the clerk's office is now seeking to go ahead and fully appoint 5 members tonight to fulfill the board consistency for the Animal Control Board. So my first motion I'm looking for is the 3 members that we did the 30-day extension to ask for an extension so that they can fulfill their 2-year terms until the January 28th, 2028 term extension. So that would be member Jeanette Engel, member Diana Hoffman, and veterinarian Robert Leonard. So I'm just looking for a motion.
I'd like to make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
City
Okay.
Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Okay, and so now we have to consider Miss Jane McGrady, who is an animal owner, she's asked to be considered to serve another term. She has served one term, and she would like to be reappointed as an animal owner. Or we have 2 other animal owners that are presented to you that would like to be considered for an appointment to the Animal Control Board. So it's the commission's pleasure to either reappoint Jane McGrady for a second term or to select Karen Oliari or Clayton Crane as the animal owner to fulfill the vacancy on the Animal Control Board.
Has Ms. McGrady been a good participant?
Yes, and
showed
she
up
is
to
willing to
meetings?
serve. Yes, she is willing to serve again.
Okay. Is there anyone want to make a motion for Ms. McGrady or nominate someone else?
I will make a motion to approve McGrady.
And I'll second that.
City Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Thank you. And then one and final, the final qualification or composition for the board is a non-animal owner. We have 2 non-animal owners who are willing to serve on the board. That's Pat Weber-Sons and Julie Strickland. So it's the commission's pleasure to pick one non-animal owner to serve on the board.
Any nominations?
Julie Strickland.
And I second that.
Okay. And I will call roll. Commissioner Perrine?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Ashley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ms. Strickland, to the Animal Control Board.
Thank you, and that's all for today. And also, I am advertising for the open position on the Utilities Commission. We will keep that advertisement for this meeting and the next meeting. The applications will be emailed to you for your reference and review.
And we can expect that on which meeting?
Right now, it's the last meeting in March. We'll present them to be appointed to the board.
Okay, great. Thank you, City Clerk.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving on to commission comments. I'll start with Commissioner Perrine.
Thank you. I just want to report we had a great turnout at the Volusia League of Cities this week. It was at Oak Hill, and Mayor Ricky Taylor did a fabulous job at Goodrich's. They hosted it this time. Seafood was excellent. We had an excellent speaker named Holly Smith, and she was a past mayor at Sanibel Island, and she gave an amazing report on how the hurricane took out their bridge and how the residents had to deal with that impact of not being able to get to their own homes in the island. So she gave a lot of good pointers about disaster relief. I hope we never have to go through that. But it was a very good Volusia League of Cities. And then last thing I have, I just want to remind everyone that we have our homeless shelter mayor's event on February 7th on Saturday night. It's at 6 p.m. at the Hilton Daytona Oceanfront Resort. I hope to see everyone there.
Great. Commissioner Martin?
Just saying, inspiring speakers, good music and dance at the Babe James Center were a lovely tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. And it was also nice to see a good turnout for the Crimson Cares charity fundraiser benefiting the Police Foundation. And I hope the entire staff of the NSBPD feel supported by the NSB community. Images was fabulous as always, and notably the Bluffett Band brought together all different segments of our local community. Poor, rich, red, blue, everybody found common ground. And it was so beautiful to see everybody on this common ground singing together and dancing together. So many thanks for the Bluffett Band. I was also delighted by the remodel of the Coronado Civic Center and want to put a big thank you out to directors Rob Salazar, David Ray, and all the staff that made it happen. And finally, I would like to remind my fellow commissioners that variances, rezonings, and special exceptions follow the land. Correct. Not the current owner, not the site plan, not the proposed use, just the property. Is that?
Yes, I was going to address it in my comments as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Martin. Commissioner Ashley?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to give a shout out to a city employee. His name is Kevin McChrystal. He's a plans examiner. He helped a friend of mine from Venetian Bay with questions. My friend's name is Larry Moskwa, and he asked me how he should handle permitting. Me not knowing anything about permitting much, I said, you should go down to the office and ask your questions. And he was accidentally seen by Kevin talking at the window. Kevin overheard the conversation and voluntarily and simply just went up to Larry, had a conversation with him, answered his questions. And Larry was just floored by the personal attention that Kevin gave Larry. So he called me right away when he got home and he said, Brian, do you know this guy, Kevin? I said, I don't. He said, well, I just want to tell you what happened. And he explained what happened. He was so grateful. So he shared that with me, and now I'm sharing it with you. And it isn't often you get a chance to praise a city employee like that, so I'm taking the opportunity. And next, I'm very grateful for the people who have met with me in the past couple of weeks. Mark Billings and Stephanie Ford, I had a chance to re-meet with them. And it's always helpful to me to gain new knowledge, and I really appreciate it, and I wanted to thank them. I also wanted to point out that the golf club at Venetian Bay, once a year, hosts a very, very interesting organization, the North American One-Armed Golfers Association. There were 70 participants, all playing golf with one arm. Men, women, and younger boys and girls. And it is amazing to see these people play golf because most of them play better than people with two arms. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. And this organization plays all over the world. And for them to select the city of New Smyrna Beach and Venetian Bay as a venue is an honor. And it just so happens that one of the members of that organization lives here in New Smyrna Beach. His name is Jay James. And I want to give a shout out to Jay for spearheading the participation of a course here in New Smyrna Beach, Venetian Bay. And I also want to thank the mayor. Mayor Cleveland came out and kind of kicked off the tournament with a speech, not long, just a couple of funny comments. And the guys really, really appreciated us being there, just supporting them. So I want to thank Mayor Cleveland for doing that. And that's about it.
Great, Commissioner Ashley. And I'll tell you, my golf game is so bad, I'm sure every single one of those one-armed people can beat me, no problem. Okay, so we had images this past weekend, and I can't say enough about what a fantastic contribution or asset Images is to our community. We had amazing warm weather. The town was packed. Images was highly successful as always, and the economic benefit that it brings to this community, I cannot overstate. So I love the ACA. I love our relationship with the ACA, and Images just continues to just do an amazing thing in our community. The MLK Walk, my apologies, I was not able to make it this year, but look forward to it next year. Moving on to City Clerk's report.
Nothing else at this time, thank you.
Okay. City Attorney?
Yeah, I just was going to highlight 3 different bills and kind of follow up on what Commissioner Martin was saying regarding the zoning running with the land. So in my report, there's several bills. The ones that are kind of topical right now, either because they've come up in conversation or one from last year, I know Commissioner Perrine had worked on the sovereign immunity caps. The proposal this year is to go from $200,000 per person, $300,000 per incident, change those to $500,000 per person, $1 million per incident, as well as staging an increase for 2031 where the 500 would go to 600 and the million would go to 1.2 million. They also would change it right now if you need to exceed those limits in order to settle like a personal injury claim. You think of like loss of life, that type of claim. You normally have to go to the legislature to get a claims bill, but under this proposed legislation, it would allow a local government to settle that claim without going through the legislature. The other popular common household talk would be regarding Senate Bill 180, the fix under SB 840. There's a Senate bill and there's a House bill companion. The Senate bill is actually pretty good. The only issue that I would like, but we're grateful to get what we could get, would be to shorten that retroactive provision that went back to 8/1/24 and try to push it up to when they actually adopted it. But generally, it fixes most of the issues that were raised. The House bill is not, does not address things like 840 does, so we really prefer the Senate bill version. And finally, another one was regarding building permits. So there's proposed legislation, Senate Bill 968, House Bill 1049, where it would provide an exemption from getting a building permit for generators. So you could still inspect those generator installations to make sure they comply with the Florida Building Code or the Fire Prevention Code, but we couldn't require a permit. It also provides for no permits required for work under $7,500, but caveats for electrical, plumbing, or structural work, but it would remove the requirement for permits for outside doors and exterior windows. That's on single-family homes. And then finally, just going back to, land use decisions run with the land. The purpose of that is so we're not making discriminatory land use decisions. So, for example, if you think about a bank, if a bank is permitted use in that zoning district, it doesn't matter whether it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or any other financial institution. You're looking at the use of the land. So my caution is we should not be making that general practice to tie it to the owner, because you can get into trouble that way. This particular application, the applicant must have agreed to that condition. And these land use decisions they're different than a sidewalk cafe license where they're getting permission to use our property. Those can be personal to the applicant and have to be renewed. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, any comment?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, with that done, the meeting is adjourned.